I've got 6 o'clock, so I'll call the regular meeting of the Village of Belleville, Board of Belleville to order. For the allegiance.
I do
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Oh, yes. President Service is not online right now as well, so he's absent. Trustee Bayman.
Here.
Bongard. Here. Hannon.
Here.
Eichel Kraut. Here. Asmar.
Here.
Ziegler.
Here. All right, and the meeting was
The
posted.
meeting was posted.
All right, okay, for the one person in the audience, we're now opening the public participation session of the meeting. You can speak on any agenda or non-agenda item. You have 3 minutes. Please stand at the podium, state your name and address. This is the only public participation section of the meeting tonight, so. Anything? Okay.
Really care about. I just was wondering about, I see that the next item on the agenda is about the added cost for the architecture from my West Main, another 76,000. So I was wondering if there was going to be any other costs that were not thought about ahead of time between the 250. So, and I hope that that'll be discussed since this isn't a.
Service is online now.
Okay. All right. I think that's it then. Consent agenda, I will read this on. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless board member requests it, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered the first item after the table of the consent agenda. The 2 items tonight are the village board meeting minutes from November 17th and the 2026 board committees and commissions meetings calendar.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Village president's report. Mike, you got anything? Okay. We can't find the mute button. Well, I do. Village staff reports.
I don't have one.
I guess I'll give a brief update, given that we got our 10 inches of snow over the weekend. Our guys were here Saturday and Sunday working on the holiday weekend. So a big thank you to them from me. And just for your awareness, today was mostly starting to clean up, doing village sidewalks being the primary focus. And tomorrow, the intent is to get there a little early, salt the streets again, and then move on to cleaning up Main Street. That's sort of the focus for tomorrow.
I'd like to thank them too, so that's I'm.
Will do.
Yeah, probably the only thing I have is Dane County just got finished calculating taxes and I got those this afternoon. Treasurers have until noon tomorrow to dispute their math, but otherwise they're planning on sending everything to the printer December 2nd. Don't know exactly what time or what date it'll leave the printer and actually be mailed, but it will go on to Access Dane first. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but it should be fairly soon after your file. But I can look up your individual taxes if you want me to take a look. For Dane County, Green's not done.
Nothing from me, thank you.
I did bring the packet if anybody needs to pick one up for the election nomination. Papers can be circulated starting today and need to be back to my office by the the first Tuesday in January, which I can't remember what it is right now. 6, thank you. If you'd rather fill out a non-candidacy declaration notification, those have to be in by the 26th of December. Please know that I'm actually out of the office that whole week. So if you decide that you don't want to run again, I would just ask that you consider turning that in sooner rather. Otherwise, packets, papers, if you have any questions, please reach out. And I'll just start hyping dog tags. They'll be available January.
Chief, you got anything?
Oh, I don't, sorry.
All right. We got a presentation to discuss and consider the architectural proposal for 1 West Main Street.
Yeah, so this is the next step in the process. We are still in our due diligence period with the building, but we need to have an architect come in now to design what we want. The 250 for Ashley's comment is more of the interior part of the work. We really don't know what the food pantry part is gonna be yet. How big do we want to extend it? How far out? Now is the time to kind of give them the assets that they could use long term. Do we give them a walk-in freezer? Do we not? Do we put in new shelving? Do we put in like, grocery store style kind of dry food item shelving? Like, do we buy that new? They have used ones in the building currently from the front. But I think there's a lot of questions that we need to still figure out. The 250 is more of the interior because there's going on a ton of work. We're not changing the shape. And all of the equipment looks pretty good from what Ian and I were able to kind of walk through. The architectural design will handle the design, engineering, site design, interior, the engineering costs for the development of everything. And they'll be the construction manager, that kind of item. So they will pretty much handle it from here to the day that we move in.
Did we get bids from anybody else?
If we did, we would have to go through the RFP process. I chose just to reach out to Angus Young mainly for the fact that they have been doing a lot of work downtown. They've done all of our updates to downtown. They're also building the new Belleville building on the west side of town. And so we know them very well. We worked with the lead engineer. And so I figured, since we could just go with one, I figured that was the one that has been doing a lot of work down here. And they're all going to be very similar cost wise.
Any questions, comments? Openings?
I will say it's worth noting, again, that of all the options we had, this was the most economical.
And we could spend $3 million or more and still be most economical in the village hall wise. Like,
Yes.
we are in good shape.
And
I believe we should get 3 quotes for everything. And, this plan also includes an elevator shaft in the future, which, is probably the most expensive part that is also lacking in the current village hall. So, I see it as money being spent on no progress yet for a future needs of the village. It's going to end up being the same. I think the current village hall could have been investigated further with other quotes, other plans.
That mic talking.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was that? Was that
Nothing.
Your house looks awesome.
Thanks.
So sunny there.
We want to act on this, or you want a motion either way tonight, right? Or whether we go with this or go for more bids or whatever, correct?
I'll make a motion to approve the architectural proposal for 1 West Main.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. We approve the proposal from Angus Young for 1 West Main. Any other discussion?
Oh, at $76,000 and change just to get a proposal and engineering draft seems excessive to me.
So it's not a proposal.
I mean that's practically the cost of that. We were talking renovations would be. when we were looking at the building, we were told, Gabe had said estimating $250,000 for renovations. Well, this is a third of that already.
So this is the design of it,
Yeah.
and that's pretty standard. I mean, I think it's a fair price for everything that's involved. We're talking architectural, structural.
Well, I never had to pay anything close to that for my house, which included all these aspects except for an elevator. I think my plans for my house were about $10,000.
It makes you wonder if somebody else would come in with less money for the same thing. And did we have any offer it out to anybody else or just went with these guys?
Just a little bit.
We just did this one.
Is it time sensitive? We need to move on this pretty quickly
I
or?
would think so. Should be.
That's up to you guys. Village Hall is Village Hall, like, we're not leaving that anytime soon, so if you want to go back and get 3, we can. We don't have to. It's time sensitive if you want it to be. You want to get this done sooner than, I guess, yes, technically, but no, there's not. It'd be a forced pressure, not a,
I mean, we can get at least one more if it's the same.
if we get 1, we have to get 3.
I think we need to get to see what's best for our buck here, because if we're talking a fair amount of money for the taxpayers. I mean, the first one isn't always the best one. I'm not saying that they're good, bad, or otherwise. I don't know anything about them, but it seems to me we should be getting 3 estimates. I don't know why we wouldn't.
And I'm fine either way. I mean, like Gabe said, Angus Young has done several buildings. They did the EMS building. They did, they've been working with everything that's been going on Main Street.
I think they did the library and the police.
They did the police station, they did the library, they've done all the buildings downtown, and they're doing the newest building on the west side.
Yeah.
I can vouch for them.
The new engineer, the new,
Well,
fitness studio.
it is.
I worked with them a lot. They're a very reputable company. They're very fair.
It's a bell bubble. So
Does it cost us anything to get somebody else to man look?
Time.
Might be well worth our time to have somebody else look.
So there's a motion on the table to approve this contract. Do we want to, we can take a vote on that and see where that goes, and if not, if it fails, we'll go with another motion, or the motion can be withdrawn either way.
Once you've got a second, we can technically do. Unless we keep making it complicated on me.
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll do
Then you vote on this.
we'll do a roll call vote on this item then.
The only thing before you vote, it will take about 2-3 months from now before I can present you an item.
Okay with me.
So then it'll be about
That to save us money, I'm okay with that.
5 months to construct, 6 months to construct, or no, 4 or 5 months to do what we have to do to plan, and then a year or so to build.
It's not like we're gonna be out in the street. We still need to do what's best for the taxpayer.
And if we as a board are here, so if it's anyone out in the street, it's going to be employees, so.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, let's do a roll call.
Sure. Mike,
No.
Bannum,
No,
Baumgart,
No,
Ken.
No.
Michael Crowe,
Yes.
Kaczmar,
No.
Ziegler.
No.
Okay.
All right, so the motion fails 1-6. Is there another motion?
I'll make a motion that we go out and get 2 more proposals to make it a total of 3.
second.
Okay, there's a motion by Deb, second by Debbie to go out for 2 additional, or get at least 2 additional bids for this project, for the architectural design of 1 West Main. Any discussion on that? Right? Might as well do a roll call vote on that too, so.
Yeah, I'll change colors, hold on. Okay, just to reiterate, the motion on the table by Casmar, that we go out for 2 additional bids for the architectural one West Main, seconded by Vanguard, President Service,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Vanguard,
Yes.
Cannon,
Yes.
Michaelcraft,
No.
Casmar,
Yes.
Ziegler.
Yes.
All right, I'll phone this up.
All right. So. All right. No old business. So the first item of new business is discuss and consider. Discuss and consider the new leak credit notification policy, or leak credit notification policy.
Well, first of all, I should say that there's a typo in there. The word credit should not be in there.
I didn't think so.
So it seems like two different ideas got.
They were two parallel ideas, but the second of those ideas is not ready for you guys yet. This would simply replace our leak notification policy that we have right now, which essentially said, the village makes no guarantees, but if we see your water usage spiking or we see something unusual, we'll try to check it occasionally and we'll reach out if we do. What this leak monitoring policy says is we will provide the ion water. We will pay for that so that residents can get it for free, which provides all of the same details that we see at Village Hall, at a minimum updated hourly. If you got one system, you get the Galaxy system, it updates every hour. If you have the cellular system, it updates every 15 minutes. The exact same information. The app can send notifications, emails, texts to your phone based on whatever parameters you give it. So if your water's running constantly, it can tell you that. You just have to tell it what you want to know. And what this basically says is we are taking our hands off of it. It is, you now have access to it. We have paid for you all to have access to it. It is now your responsibility to monitor it. And this was sort of the idea behind us getting ion water so that everyone could take care of their own stuff.
How do you know which one you're signed up, which one you have? The Galaxy or the, whatever you said?
It doesn't matter, it's the same app.
Yes, it's the exact same app. I'm not sure if in there it says one or the other. I'm not positive.
I don't think it does, it just tells you the.
From the village stuff.
We don't have very many gallons.
No, we have mostly Galaxy.
What is the other one?
Cellular. Cellular is the newer one that, as we replace Galaxies, we replace them with cellular.
So if I called our utility clerk, who's that again?
Donna, so actually, I have a meter ID number, I have a meter, which is the same as serial number.
Is it on that app?
It gives me the time, most recent read, but it doesn't tell me exactly which one I have. I have a newer home, so I have a newer.
And if someone wanted to know which one they have, we could certainly.
I'm just curious.
So the second part to this, which will be coming at a future meeting that was discussed at Public Works, was we want everybody on this so that takes the onus off of the village to try to get. And then we're gonna be proposing a $20 is what we ended up, I think, right? One-time credit for people to get to ion water and go to paperless billing.
Yes.
So that'll be the next item that comes to the board that was already approved at Public Works, but we wanted to draft something a little more detailed than
Yes.
what we have in front of us. So,
Yes, we had to close a few loopholes, dot a few i's.
yeah, so between, yeah, so they're really two separate things, but they were talked about together. So we've had issues with this leak notification policy for years. To be honest, we haven't had a credit request in months now. It's funny how that goes. We get either a ton of them or none. So we haven't, I don't remember one at all since you've been on at least the committee.
No,
Right? No. So, And then every time we get one, it comes up. So that will still be available, sewer rate, or not a sewer rate adjustment, but a credit will still be available, correct?
Yes, that won't be going away.
Right, so it's just, again, puts the onus more on the resident, which is what we've been trying to do for a while, anyway, just because we do not have the staff to monitor that system 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so.
Yeah, that's it. Just asking for this to take the place of our leak notification policy.
I'll make a motion that we approve the new notification policy.
Second.
Any other discussion?
So, how, do you know, Drew, how far into the house, the village is responsible for? Is it up to and including the meter?
It's the property line.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I believe it's the property line after the shut off valve, I believe. Although,
The reason I ask is, oh, sorry. The reason I ask is, you know, I actually had an incident in my house where the valve from the main water line coming in that's inside the house that attaches to the meter, the valve actually busted or was about to break, and I caught it just in time, or otherwise my whole basement would have flooded and none of the water would have gone through the meter. So I'm just wondering where the responsibility of the village hands off.
also,
You know, is it up to the meter, or you know, which is usually inside someone's house?
no, it's not the meter. Allow me to verify with Tom to be 100% sure, but I'm 90% sure it's at the valve shut off at the curb.
All right.
That's the way I've interpreted it.
And 31, that's the correct answer.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right. All right, next item, discuss and consider the MBA for a background check investigator.
In your packets, you received the MBA regarding my request for a limited term employee for background investigator. This would be a civilian staff member. The reason we're requesting it is, as I thought may happen and now has come to fruition, is based on just Molly and I being the only ones available to do background checks. Our time is limited from her standpoint because she works full-time with Nuclearis. So her time with Belleville is limited. And then my time has been mainly consumed with my normal duties, plus now training Eric, which Molly is also helping with on the majority of days off she has from Nuclearis, so that we can get him up and running as soon as possible. With that said, there's a number of agencies, as we all well know, that are in similar predicaments as we are. And so they're finding it difficult not only to balance their responsibilities to their communities, but also to conduct background investigations. So what we're looking for right now is we currently have 3 candidates who are waiting to be backgrounded, 2 for officer and 1 for captain. If all goes well, I'm hoping to have the officers candidates started on January 19th of next year. And in the same respect for the captain candidate starting on February 2nd in 2026. And then there's a 3rd one that I was hoping that we could get possibly into the academy that starts in January. But again, because of our limited time, we were unable to meet the deadline that we needed to meet for the academy. So we had to basically, I reached out to them asking if there was any urgency, or if they had any other irons in the fire per se, that they could not wait a little longer for their background investigation to be completed. 1 responded, that's fine. I'll keep you posted. The other one asked a litany of questions and I'm not sure what his status will be going forward. So the reason I gave you, and actually Ian brought this to my attention, the reason I provided you the forecast perspective of where the department budget is because it's the same report I've been giving to the police committee in regards to the budget status and department needs in this early phase. And with that said, this is more or less to reflect that for 2025, we do have the funds available. In 2026, based on what we're looking at when hiring these new officers, there's going to be funds available in 2026 to cover the expense of the background investigator to more or less do up to 5 background investigations between now and I'm hoping June of 2026 so that we can get to the August academy if we need to. So from that standpoint, that's why I kind of give you the perspective. In addition, you'll see that there's going to be funds that most likely will transfer over to the general funds because they will go unexpended with that. So that should, in case there is, because as we saw before with these 2 selection processes for officer, we had candidates, 3 of which we did the background investigations on because they did well in the interviews, they did well in the written test, but when we started digging into their background, there was things that were felt couldn't be overcome at this time to make them a viable candidate to proceed in the process. So there may be more than 5 backgrounds per, is what I'm trying to get at there. If we run into an issue of concern with the candidates that we're putting forward for background investigations. So just to give you some idea that with that surplus, that if need be, there should be some funds available to take out of general funds, if need be, to cover any overtures in the background investigations. But once the background investigations are concluded, the employment with this individual will cease. And then as I've stated in the MBA, my goal is to get back to the department doing them internally going forward once we have enough staffing and officers that are interested are sent to the training on how to do background investigations.
How long is that training?
It's a 1-week course.
And is it a course you have to pay for?
Yes.
What's that usually?
I'm not sure what the cost is at this time. So usually Madison Police Department or Dane County Sheriff's Department will host it at their agency for that background investigator course.
So I don't have a question necessarily on the MBA. I mean, it was well written, but I have a question on the other documents that you gave us. So the second page, which has got all these items highlighted in green, what are these? Are these items that you're looking to spend out of unspent funds, or are these what is included in next year's budget? Or what is it?
So basically, these were items that needed to be replaced, as you can see, and then some of the stuff is what we've already discussed, like the taser contract and the body worn cameras and that kind of stuff. So while we had these funds available, I'm basically addressing equipment deficiencies from a department standpoint. And in the case of like the red dot sight for a sidearm, Officer Brisky, who left us, put her own red dot sight on it. And when she left, she had it taken off. And so that needed to be replaced on that weapon in order for that weapon, because it was missing its normal, what we call iron sights on that. So it's things that were basically needed to be replaced because they've been basically end of life, coming to sunsetting, something of that nature. In the case of the computer monitors we had were basically for the workstations were no bigger than practically this laptop screen here. So just giving the officers, a more normal monitor from that standpoint. So
my question still stands.
Yeah.
It's coming out of this year's budget funds or next year?
this year's, these have already been expended.
Okay.
So, And this is, like I said, this is the same report that I give police committee every month.
So I'm gonna just bring up badges, $5,000 in badges. Don't they have to turn their badges in when they leave?
That's what I'm finding out is there's 3 different badges out there and they have control numbers on them, but I'm missing some numbers of some badges and I can't account for them.
So how many badges are we getting for $5,000?
Basically 2 each, one for the uniform, one for the jacket. So
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
I've got a question. So on page 4 of your first document, number 6, you say that the background checks are performed for Village Hall, EMS, and fire. Are we accounting for, or will we be accounting for the costs associated by, you know, which entity needs a background check? So if we hire this person to do background checks, you know, are we going to be billing their time against EMS and fire?
no,
You know, at least on an accounting standpoint.
yeah, I will still be handling those internally. Because they don't take much time. At the most, they take a half an hour, 45 minutes of my time. And it's not as in-depth as it is for law enforcement. So, like we used, if you noticed on, number 2 above, basically I have access to all that. I run all that, and then I just give a quick little report to the EMS director, fire chief, or in the case of a Village Hall staff member, just a quick report that there was nothing of concern, or if there was concern, I will provide that documentation of concern, and then that chief or that department head can make the determinations going forward from that standpoint. So this background investigator will not be dealing with that, only law enforcement.
All right, that's what I wanted to know. Thanks.
Yeah, I got a question. So did you say this is for 5 or for 6? Because on here, on page 6, it says for 6 background investigations.
Well, currently we have, it would be 6, yeah, because there's 5 officers, or sorry, 4 officers. No, sorry, 4 officers and then the captain, so it'd be 5.
For 5,
Yeah,
and it's $7,500.
yeah, that's what it, you know. The only question mark in that is the mileage. So, but most of the candidates we are looking at are residents of Dane, Green, or Rockland.
Well, I don't know if the math is working out there. You said 40 hours per background check at $40 an hour is $1,600 per background check times 5 background checks is $8,000.
Yeah, it says $7,500 to $8,000. But then it says for 6 background checks. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, sorry. There's another typo in there. It's just about to.
So it's 5.
Yeah.
Now,
Like I said, depending on what we find in the background check, you know, the person may not proceed forward. So we may have to do additional background checks.
so not to exceed 8,000,
So, pardon me, sorry.
not to exceed 8,000.
Yeah,
So my other question is that tonight in the closed session, we're gonna deal with the captain position. So we haven't done a background check on him yet, but we're gonna look at doing an offer of employment.
yeah. So because of the balls in the air and that kind of stuff, when we could do a background prior to, we would do it. Now we're just gonna roll it all in together with the background, but we're gonna wait for the background to be done first before we move on to the medical and psychological. So in order to streamline things, that's why we're just talking about the conditional offer, putting it all in one lump sum, kind of getting back to where it was when Cody and Molly were doing the background investigations.
I'm gonna make a motion. This has not been before the police committee. So I get to make a motion to table this until the police committee can get a chance to look at it and talk about it some more.
Okay, there's a motion to table and refer the MBA to the police committee for their review and recommendations. Is there a second? I'll second it just for discussion here.
This process, the reality is we have to do the background checks and this process is dragging on long enough as it is.
But we're invalidating our police committee by doing this, by moving it. We're skipping steps. And we don't know this guy.
Well, that's why we're gonna do the background check.
No, she's
No.
talking about the guy that's gonna do the background checks. I think is what she's talking, well,
I think we need to discuss it at the police committee level before it comes to the board. Can't just skip important steps. We don't know this guy. We don't know his background other than what was done. I think there just needs to be a little more in-depth discussion before we just go ahead and hire somebody to do background checks. Or hiring a captain. My opinion, a captain can do these background checks.
You have to do the background check on the gaps.
Yeah, well,
And Shelley, there's a sense of urgency here because we need to get officers' background so we can get them on the road.
forget that, but what I'm saying is we are invalidating the need for the police committee by skipping the step and sending it straight to the board.
I will say the only other two MBAs that this board has acted on have gone through committee prior to coming to the board, so. The other discussion.
I do like the concept of what I would hope would be an independent third party doing the investigations. So there would be, I guess no bias at all. Not that I'm implying there is, but just from the checks and balances, I think it would probably be a good practice.
I actually agree. Yeah, I agree, Mike, on that.
And I feel like we should at least know who we're hiring.
Can you tell us any more about this person or?
None of us have met him.
I wouldn't talk about personal items in open session like this.
That's why I suggested it went to the police committee.
Whoever it is trained, they're trained in doing background investigations. Not gonna just pull somebody off the street.
Correct.
So just hire him, so that would go
All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion to enter into the agreement with John Fay.
Okay, so your motion on your table is okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. All right, yeah, let me get to the right motion. So the motion is to table this here and to refer it back to the police committee, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I
Motion carries,
Motion fails.
or fails, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, Gary.
Then I'll make a motion to approve the background check investigator MBA.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Tony, second by Debbie to approve the hiring of John Fay to do the
So let me clarify, are we approving the MBA or are we actually approving the hire? Because I
You're
don't
approving,
think they'll-
you're approving the position.
position, okay. For the background check investigator. Any discussion on that motion?
I just want to be clear that this is just approving the position, and we are not filling the position. We are looking for somebody to fill the position. We have one person that's listed in here that is a highly potential candidate, correct?
That's a valid question.
When the village board approves an FTE status, anybody, if it's FTE, LTE, whatever, and it's not a department head, once you give the board, the staff permission to hire, I then have the authority to hire that individual and it doesn't have to come back to the board. So your approval of this position is you are approving the LTE then, which says I can then, Gabe as the administrator can hire whoever, based on qualifications. And so, yes, if you approve this, you're not technically hiring that person, but the next step would be for us to
hire some person. Okay. So then I'm gonna amend the motion to not exceed $8,000.
Second.
Okay. So in 6 months, if we're not any farther along, this is gonna need to come back to the board and there's something else going on and we need to figure out what that is before we start spending more money on people to do background checks for people that aren't ever gonna be police officers in Belleville, so, in my opinion. So, any discussion on that? All right. So we'll vote on the amendment first, which is to not exceed $8,000. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 6-1. All right, so then the original amendment the original motion as amended is to hire this position with the maximum rate or the not to exceed amount of $8,000. Any discussion?
You mean to create the position?
Yeah, so the motion then approves the MBA for the background check investigator position not to exceed $8,000.
So we're creating a position and then they go out and hire.
Right.
Yes. Okay, everybody clear on that? All right. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-1. All right. Reports from boards, committees and commissions. Okay.
the RFP for the village hall. You guys directed staff to get 3. Do I have to get your approval on the RFP or can I just send the RFP out tomorrow? We really have a preference. Thank you.
That's done.
You guys can understand the question.
It would do you normally want to see the RFP before he sends it out for the architects or can he just send it out? Just send it out. So,
Thank you.
all right. I guess I get the first 2 here, Lake Belleville and Sugar River Ad Hoc Committee. We met last month, discussed a couple of things that are going on. We're really still waiting for the report from Canon, right? Or Cason. Sorry, Canon, Cason, whatever. So hopefully we'll have that in January. And then we did discuss a couple other things to look at and I think Drew, if I remember correctly, Drew has some homework before our next meeting. So, but
I always have homework.
yeah, so we did discuss the fish ladder in pretty good detail and it's very expensive. So I'm not sure. It's still on the list, but it's going to cost a lot of money. So.
Was there any looking into grants for that? Or is that part of that process?
Well, that would be part of the process down the road. Yes. I mean, we haven't ruled anything out yet, but it was just Drew had done some research on it, gave us 3 or 4 pages worth of information and the way the lake is set up over there, we have to it looks like some handicap ramps that you see going into some buildings now when there's not enough sidewalk space back and forth and stuff like that. So, yeah, but everything's still, like I said, everything's still on the table because once we kind of know where we want to go with the Cason report, then yeah, I mean, besides the $1.7 million, there is grant money out there. Again, Jasmine White, who's on the committee, is a great resource for that stuff. So she, you know, we're not ruling anything out yet. So, but so.
Question.
Yep.
The case and study.
That's the, study that we paid $25,000 out of the bequeathment funds to have them study the lake depths and the invasive species and all that kind of stuff, so. And again, they started that in the late summer, early fall, and it'll be done hopefully, like I said, we'll have most of it in January. It'll go into the spring, but hopefully we can have a major part of it done by our next meeting in January, so. Public Works, Properties and Utilities. That was a pretty short meeting. We talked about the leak notification policy. We talked about the $20 credit that we're gonna give. And I think that was pretty much it, so if I remember correctly, so. Emergency management.
Finally got to have our meeting.
I think it was the first one since March.
So it went well. We directed Maren to
Fill out that thing.
fill out that wonderful form. So we're adopting Dane County and Green County's emergency management plans. So it's just a matter of staff filling in the blanks right now. As soon as that's done, we are hopeful that we can have it to the board for approval early 2026. February, March.
I would just have, we set some goals for the committee so that they have a direction where they want to go with that. So I think that would be useful moving forward.
Okay. All right, communications and miscellaneous business, news and announcements. Cookie walk is,
City Walk is this Saturday, 3:30 to 5, I believe is what she put on. Time.
Correct.
You pick up your map at Village Hall.
airy and bright. I see there's a bunch of stuff up in the.
Everything should have started tonight, so, they were setting up over the weekend, last week, so I got the lights on timers, so. Between dusk and I think tonight is when the light should be up for, I think that's viewing.
You also have any events or comments? All right, with that, the Village of Belleville Village Board will enter into a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statutes 1985 sub 1 sub C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, performance, evaluation, data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or its exercise of responsibility. The Village Board may reconvene into open session and take action on the subject matter discussed in closed session. For this item, it'll be discussed and consider police captain offer of employment for Justin Gatsby. Second closed session item is the Village of Belleville Village Board will enter into a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute, state statute 1985 sub 1 sub E for the purposes of deliberating and negotiating and purchasing of public properties, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. The Village Board may reconvene in open session and take action on this subject matter discussed in closed session. The item we're discussing is the development agreement between the Village of Belleville and the Belleville Depot LLC. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
I make a motion to go into closed
Second. Second. Roll call vote.
President Nervous. Because I.
Yes.
Here. Trustee David.
Yes.
Longer. Gannon.
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
Passmore.
Yes.
Ziegler.
Yes. We're in closed
Then
session.
we're going into the other room because because of the team setup, we can't do the two teams calls.
6:49 here in closed session.
We are one over that.
My PJs. Bed last night just different. I was kind of asleep. We did corn. Yesterday we did all this. We did corn. Then we did colored back beans.
All right, we're back in open session. We'll make a motion that the. Let me find out. Where I went here, offer, conditional offer of employment for Justin Getzke for the police captain position.
Second.
Contingent upon. After we put the contingencies in with the
Contingent on the
background check and psychological and medical.
Okay, background checks, or do you want those all specifically out?
What?
Just background. All, how was background?
Background, okay.
Background check.
Background.
Okay, I mean, I could either, and then. Second by Shelley, okay.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
All right.
Any other business, otherwise?
Make a motion to adjourn.
There's a second. All right, there's a motion second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed?
Set the second.
Tony.
We are adjourned at 7:44.